They type a question. Nobody typed the answer. I saved it. They type to me, and I respond to the typing with words, spoken words, that I say with my face words. Mostly I do things with my ass, so it's the first time I think. The face.
Just throw it out there.
Please make stuff happen soon. Pizza. Ask everybody. I know they had pizza last night. I personally don't give a shit. I'll eat some pizza. Just ask whatever. Thank you. Handled. It needs to be handled like nowish though. You are seeing me live from set. Can somebody type that you're actually seeing me live from set? Because I'm not seeing any feed that I'm actually live from set. So if you're seeing me, I'd like to... Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Indie Horror, that you can see me. That's great. Cool. Weird. Oh, wait. If I hit play, I can see that I'm being seen legit. And now I'm going to... Awesome. Hi, everyone from the interwebs. I hope you liked the film. I'm on a set right now, so you'll have to forgive any kind of noise or any kind of issues that happen while we're here. We're shooting something tomorrow and the next day. It's something I can't talk about, but it's really cool. You guys just watched my movie, and that's super awesome. And what's really bonkers is I can't, and I know you're hearing me, but you're not like talking. I mean, you're chatting, and that's legit, but you're not talking to me. So start saying stuff, and I'll, oh yeah, Mr. Skeeter Buster, I'm frantic as hell all the time. This is not like a new state. It would be weird if I weren't. It's pretty much who I am. So, you guys like the movie? Oh, what the hell am I working on? I'm working on a spot for a video game that is a PS4 launch title. We're shooting a commercial for it starting tomorrow. And we're building the set for it right now. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, Indie Horror, which I think is Rob. So shoot questions at me. I'm sure your brains are broken in half and things. I'd be more than happy to answer questions. Or, yeah. Okay, so the inspiration. This is a good question. It's actually multiple inspirations. I have this book, like one of those old, I don't know, the name, the books with like the sparkly covers that you get in high school. I have a book, and in the book I have a bunch of ideas, just like pretty much anybody. Hold on. Maddening Nothing says something. Oh, okay. Repeat the question before answering. That's good. I was asked by Indie Horror, where the hell did I get this inspiration for this film? There are three primary sources. The first is I was super depressed in LA, and I was sleeping on the floor of this apartment that I was renting, and I was only renting like part of a room of, and the roommate had this television, this big old television, and I wasn't allowed to use it. And I was super depressed, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no money, and I was like, it was horrible. I like went to LA to become a film dude in like when I was a teenager, which is dumb because as you're a teenager, you don't know anything. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I was paying nothing to live in this place, and I was kind of borrowing part of a room, and I would sneak out in the middle of the night into the living room, and I would watch the television. Like I would sneak, and it was the only thing that I had. Like it was the only, not the only thing but it was the only like I didn't have my own entertainment. I didn't have my own stuff at the moment, and so I was like stealing this television. So at that point, I wrote down, because in my book, I've been carrying this book around forever. You know, really depressed, needs television to survive. The fungus thing came from a gentleman who asked me to tutor him at chess for money, and it turned out he wasn't really interested in chess tutoring. He was interested in things that I would not do even for money. So he was super high. This is also in LA. He was super high, and he was asking me if I could help him with chess. I went to do chess with him, and he went into the bathroom and got super higher or more. It was West Hollywood, Mr. Skeeter Buster. Good call. I didn't know. I was a kid. I was a teenager. he comes in back from going to the bathroom and apparently doing like, I don't know, heroin or something, and he's super like, his brain is totally fried, and he goes, "You ever think that maybe the cock in the bathroom is like talking to you, man?" And I was like, "No, I never thought that, but I'm writing that in my book." So I wrote that in my book. And then I guess the third idea was all of my films are based on like a classical story, and the story in Motivational Growth is actually a classical, very basic, very Americana, like old school American novella story that I don't want to give away because then it'll just give everything away. But it's based on like an older story. So my idea is take really cool, awesome stories that we all know and love and like bonkers the hell out of them so that they're interesting again, because they're interesting at their core, but maybe we've lost interest because they're so pervasive. Yeah, not Faust. No. Let me see. I've got some other questions. From a psychological standpoint, Mr. Skitterbuster asks, was the film cathartic to an extent? We all go a little mad sometimes. I would like to say that yes. When I wrote it, when I originally wrote basically the core, the dude's depressed and he tries to off himself and whatever. Yeah, when I wrote that, that was definitely cathartic. I wanted to get rid that guy sitting in the couch, desperately flipping through channels, hoping that one day when he flips a channel, his whole life will change. That was me at some point. So yeah, definitely it was cathartic. It was really cathartic shooting it and getting it done and watching some other poor sap be bearded and disgusting and gross and whatever for a long period of time. We kept the dude for 28 days in his underwear. That was pretty weird.
Mr. Thacker?
Yes.
Which would you like to dress the set with?
And then I can run this one.
This one. This one. This one.
This one.
Yeah. Get rid of this one. Throw it away or something. So we have another question. It looks like, what was it like working with Jeff Combs, and how did you meet him? Okay, so working with Jeff Combs was amazing because, like, I'm just some guy who made a movie this one time, and Jeff Combs is in 100 amazing films. So I'll answer the second question first. How did I meet him? I met him the standard, I guess the standard film way. I had an agency, talked to an agency, and the producer did all that. And eventually, after all the hoops are jumped through and agreements are made and all that stupid, crazy stuff, eventually I get a phone call, and it's Thacker. It was really crazy. He opened with my last name, Thacker. Like, yeah, there's Jeff Combs. It's like, oh my God, I'm on the phone with Jeffrey Combs right now. And I literally, this is how crazy it was. My producer's in the other room. I run out with my hand on the phone and I'm like, there's Jeff Combs on the phone right now. And she's looking at me like, yeah, we've just done 3 weeks of paperwork to get Jeff Combs on the phone. Of course it's Jeff Combs on the phone. So I'm talking to him. It was awesome. He apparently read the script on a flight or something and loved it, and then read it again, called me back, and we were sold. He was amazing to work with. He's the most professional dude ever. He's the kind of actor who can look at being a talking mold as the most epic and powerful performance he could do. Standing in a room, a studio with Jeff Combs, and knowing that you're just this guy who's making this movie, and this is an idol. Jeff Combs, honestly, I'm like the biggest Jeff Combs fan. So working with him was awesome. And he comes in. This is a guy who's worked with Peter Jackson. He's worked with Stuart Gordon. And he's amazing, and he's done amazing stuff for amazing people. Having him stand on the other side of that glass, there's booth. We're in a sound booth, so there's glass there. Having him over there just give me the best performances I've seen, just nailing everything and giving me everything, like bleeding for it and throwing stuff around and going absolutely crazy in there for this guy who's not Peter Jackson. That's professional. That he came in, and who am I? I'm just nobody, and he comes in and totally nails it, and that was amazing. I got more questions. I don't want to.
Hey Don.
Yeah.
We ran out of foil tape, but I've got 20 of the MREs made.
Okay.
We need more, so we run out and get tape.
I need like 400. Can you do 400?
I can't hold that many MREs, but I could make some more.
400. Thank you.
400.
400.
400.
Okay. So let's see. We've got another question. What the hell? This is from Mr. Skeeter Buster. What the hell made you want to start making movies, what fired up the spark in you that unleashed this lunacy on us? And I like the end. We want more. You're going to get more. I'm working on the more. Trust me. So actually, this is, I think I'm 34. So I think I probably am exactly where many of other filmmakers my age are. It's Star Wars, honestly. But it wasn't Star Wars the film. I had never seen Star Wars the film. I was a kid, right? I was a little kid. At 34, that puts me to like 4 or 5 when the Return of the Jedi came out. What I remember doing though is watching this PBS. I was in Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, and we'd have Canadian broadcasting. And I was watching Canadian PBS or CBC. I don't remember what it's called, but I was watching this Canadian documentary about the making of Return of the Jedi. And at that time, I was so young that the television was just this magical object that cool stuff came out of. Just like fire exists, you know, it just happens in the universe. So did a TV, right, with stuff in it. So I saw this making of documentary of Return of the Jedi, and I watched dudes with basically dudes like this, like we're looking right now, just regular people who are artists and awesome, whatever, go into a room and make all of the stuff from Return of the Jedi. And something in my brain, my little tiny kid brain, cracked, and it was like, oh my God, people are doing this. I'm a person. One day I want to do this. And that was a moment. I can remember the exact moment. I'm sitting there cross-legged, I got Legos splayed out in front of me. Return of the Jedi, they're running around doing this like time-lapse thing with the pig costumes, the Gamorrean guards or whatever. And my brain, it put it together. My little kid brain said that human beings do this, and I'm a human being, and I can do this. And that's what I'm going to do forever. So I spent the rest of my life from that point until now working on being able to do this. And now finally, at 34, so what is that, like 29 years later, here I am doing it as best I can. And it seems like you guys seem to like some of it, so that's awesome. I'm going to answer another question. Indie Horror, our wonderful host, asks, how long / how many... I'm sorry, what? Yeah, no, not if you're gonna flip it. If you're gonna flip it, we'll never see it. Yeah, okay. How long / how many shots did it take to get the insane bathtub slip KO shot? Did you use wires for that? Yes, it was. We did it in I think 2 or 3 takes. It was completely. We didn't use wires for the first fall when he falls in real time. We cheated. That wasn't a bathtub he hit. It was a fake bathtub made out of rubberized foam. And in the actual area where the bathtub would be, there are a bunch of dudes with pads getting ready to hockey check Ian as he falls backward into the tub area. So he falls off the sink area, and he runs into these 4 big dudes, and they just go, hooah, and push him forward. And he slams into the cupboard and hits the ground. That was all live in real time. That was the actual actor. We did it in real time. We practiced it a bunch, but I think I had him fall like 3 or 4 times, and there was never a problem with his fall. It always totally worked. There was a problem when we did the slow motion falling. So we don't have a slow motion camera at the time. Our cameras were all off the shelf stuff you could get at Best Buy. So what we did was we faked slow motion. We tied the guy to the ceiling, and we had him wired to the ceiling, and then we slowly lowered him, and he's going in slow motion. He's faking the slow motion. It's not real. And then we would move the camera around him in slow motion. And then oh yeah, it is. Thanks. Can I get another water? This is. I didn't ask for that. I want another water. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Can I get a better water than this? Please. Thank you. Jesus. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so we faked the slow motion, and it was really cool. It was a fun workaround. I didn't make that up. I saw that Canon released a video of this bank robbery. I forgot the name of it, but it was all faked, fake slow motion. So we did hurt Ian, the actor Adrian DiGiovanni, who played Ian. We hurt him. Well, he hurt him. We hung him from the ceiling, and apparently it takes a lot of exercise, and we didn't have time to get him ready, to get the musculature ready for this hanging on a wire for a bunch of days. Wire work is not easy, and the harnesses are hard on you. And he pulled something in his back, and it was a big mess. So I'm gonna answer another question. This is without a doubt the coolest chat. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Yes, this is a working set. This isn't made up. They're legit building a set. Thank you, XYZ39808, for the best workaround. It really was a good workaround. I think it works. Mr. Skeeter Buster asks, have you ever considered an H.P. Lovecraftian horror movie? With the effects and amazing your writing, it would be great. So I'd like to point out that you just said my writing was amazing, and I wrote it, so thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm humbled that you think it's amazing. Have I ever considered an H.P. Lovecraftian horror movie? I will not answer directly. I will tell you, however, I hired Jeffrey Combs for my first feature film. So, yes. I have, absolutely. Except I believe that if I were ever to make a Lovecraftian horror film, I would not say cyclopean nearly as much as
or without this glued on before we put it on set.
Just take this thing and just hot glue it.
Okay.
Just straight up.
Sure thing.
Don't even, just hot glue it. If you have like a staple, just hang this from a nail.
Okay.
And then we have a set.
Yeah, we do.
Cool. Thank
Alright,
you.
Cool.
I really think we should shave my head.
Lean in. Should we shave our head? I think there's a delay.
Okay.
Lean in further. Look at the camera. We want to shave her head for this?
Yeah.
Should we shave the head? Here, bend down. It's a nice red head, but yeah, okay, we're gonna shave it.
Okay.
Median, can you shave this?
Yes.
Cool. We're gonna shave the head. Thanks, guys. So yeah, I would love to do a Lovecraftian film. I just would like to write it, honestly. Well, we didn't shave it yet, Indie Horror. It's gonna happen. What does that take, Midian? Like 30 minutes, 20 minutes? 3, just go, right? Cool.
We took a vote. This is the best water.
Okay. Thanks. Water. No, that was disgusting. I need another. Can somebody give me another water right now?
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Ridiculous. So yeah, yeah, we shaved her head. Well, it's gonna take 3 minutes. Any other questions, guys? Oh, what is she playing? Indie Horror asked what she's playing. She's playing. Let's see if I break NDA by saying any of this. She's playing a Soviet miner. Not like a miner like a young person, but like a miner like somebody that digs a lot. Not digs like likes, but digs like excavates. Not excavates. Well, no, yeah, excavates. Okay, so Maddening Nothing asks, so is Ian dead and is Jack just the mold's clone of him? That is a really compelling question. It's not what happened. It's really cool, though, and I like that's what you came up with. Just so you guys know, it's a puzzle, and all the answers are there. You can find it. I didn't do some kind of weird, like, Lynchian, it's just about the feeling thing, which are totally legit, but just not my movie. All the answers are there. You just need time to find them. That is a good guess, and you're very close. So keep, hopefully when the film comes out on Blu-ray, DVD, VOD, or whatever at the end of this year, beginning of next, you will be able to watch it again, right, and make up your mind.
Do more just in case the rest of the stuff.
This is a different brand.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you no Kirkland?
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, okay. Fucking guys, last time, no Kirkland. I'm not going to do fucking Kirkland on my set. I mean, I'm sure it's fine water, but I don't want it, okay? All right, Jesus. Okay, next question. This is an awesome chat. Thanks, Skeeter Buster. Straight to beta. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, straight to beta, like beta cassette. Yes, I would love to release Motivational Growth on VHS. It takes place in 1991. I don't know if you could work that out from the TV shows and everything, the clicker or whatever else. But yeah, the film takes place in 1991, so a Betamax copy of Motivational Growth would probably be like the most epic thing ever. Indie Horror asks, our wonderful, gracious host asks, before Motivational Growth, did you direct any shorts or anything of that sort? Yes. Yes, I have. If you go to my IMDb thing, you'll see that I've been on a bunch of sets and stuff. I was an AD for a while. I was an assistant to blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I shot a bunch of stuff, but just like every other filmmaker, I had projects. You know, like you do projects first, and then you do films, and then you do films that people care about. So I'm pretty shocked that you guys are digging on Motivational Growth, because that was like, I've just entered into films phase. Some people say that if you say you're a filmmaker, you're a filmmaker. I say if you say that you're a filmmaker and you make films for a living, then you're a filmmaker. Right now I can happily say that we make media on, I guess not film, right? Digital. We make films for a living, so I guess I'm a filmmaker. But yeah, I did stuff. There were projects. I did a feature in 2006 that hopefully you'll see released if I get a a boost in my career and people are like, oh God, is there anything else? Then they'll release that too. It was a cool feature. I liked it, but you'll never see it until you guys band together and say Don Thacker should make more movies. Another question. Based on your chat, do you have any horror comedy projects in the future? Yes, I do. I have 2. But before I do another horror comedy, I have a sci-fi thriller horror that I'm working on. And hopefully in 2014, we can get that done. It's called Flexure, and it's about particle physicists who jack punch a screaming hole in reality. So hopefully you guys will like it. Let's see. Robert Rodriguez's books starts
Is this how you want the graphics to look, like this?
like that.
Yeah. Is that
Is that
that gonna
really? Oh man.
Yeah. I'll go back and work on it.
Thank you. Did I hire? Jesus. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez starts, if you think you're a filmmaker, then you're a filmmaker line. That's true. He says that. And look, I would never write a book and tell you that I know how. I think the guy who writes the book and tells you he knows how is the guy who knows how for him. For Robert Rodriguez, he said, I'm a filmmaker and was a filmmaker. That's great. For me, it took a grueling, 19-year process of doing everything I could and projects and everything. So, yeah, sure, great. I think what works for you will work for you. And if you look at the career of any filmmaker, it's not like the career of other filmmakers. And I think for anybody who does any kind of art, you're going to find that, you got to kind of blaze your own trail in that regard. Ben Ruby says, I directed my first porn 2 weeks ago, and it went off without a hitch. Awesome. That's fucking stunning. I'm excited. You're going to send me a link, I'm sure. Hopefully, right? Don@imagosfilms.com. That's my email. Send me that shit. What is my preferred brand of water? Actually, Detroit City tap water. That's legit stuff. The Detroit River used to be so polluted that you could light it on fire. So they ended up overcompensating and building the best water filtration system in the United States. This is back before when we had car companies and not a broken economy. So we created this awesome water treatment stuff, and the water is just amazing. When I go back home to visit my mom, and I just love drinking her tap water, and I'm like, yeah, I'm home for Christmas, and it's really for the tap water. My hair looks like the Miz. The Miz? What is a Miz? I don't know what a Miz is. I am a water snob as long as it's Detroit City tap water. That's true. Let's see what else. Mr. Skeeter Buster asked, "What about the Cleveland on Fire River? Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing." Indy Horror says, "So you're from Michigan, and we totally need you to come to the IHTV anniversary party in Saline, Michigan on 11/16. Listen." Honestly, 100% Indie Horror TV. Send me an invite to my email address, don@imagosfilms.com, and I will come, because I'm from Michigan. Big up. Represent. I'm from, right here. Yeah, Bears are taking over Detroit. Bears? I don't know what you're talking about. The Miz WWE wrestler. Sorry, Indie Horror, and I think it was Mr. Skeeter Buster. Here's the truth. I am a WWF fan. WWE can go fuck it. Or, I'm sorry. I would like to invite the WWE to have sex with itself, as I harken back to the old days of Roddy Piper and that guy, the animal or whatever, the guy with the tongue, and Mr. T wrestling, and the Junkyard Dog. Yeah. This new, what was it? They called it the Attitude Age or whatever. Not a big fan of the Attitude Age. I like odd and theatrical things, so the Attitude Age was very edgy and emo and goth or whatever, and I just never got into it. I was into the big characters and stuff, basically luchadors without masks, Get the F out. Yeah. Roddy Piper was your guy, Mr. Skeeter? Mine too. Roddy Piper, man. And guess what, until I was 13 I never knew why he wore a skirt, but it was awesome. I grew up a mark for the Ultimate Warrior. That's great. The Ultimate Warrior was legit. Have you seen him recently? It's crazy. He's this old dude who he wears the paint, but it's not really the Ultimate Warrior paint. It's paint he bought at the store, and his hair's all short, and it's gray, and he's kind of wide, and it's sad. I mean, I'm wide, but I was never a wrestler.
Tom,
Yes.
it's for you. I think it's your wife.
Okay, hold on. Hello? No? No, I'm at set.
Nobody got the water.
Yeah, I'm doing the interview thing. Yeah, on IndieHorror.tv, the interview thing. No? No? Tran? Come here. No. I have no idea. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. No.
I mean,
She's fully clothed. You're fully clothed. Why do you have hair? Why do you still have hair?
wouldn't work. It grew back.
Midian!
It grew back.
Instantly?
Yes.
I'm baffled. Okay, that smells funny. What's with the hair? Why is the hair still on?
I'll get this. Here's
Take
your
this.
water.
Thanks for the water.
I'm on it right now.
Can you drag her away and do the thing? Jesus.
Burrito's delicious.
Ew. What is this? I need, okay, can somebody get me fucking Detroit City tap water right now? Bullshit. Sorry, guys. Okay.
There it is. I can't find the air hook, by the way.
Okay. So we're not doing a skyhook? Is that?
Skyhook. Oh, it's a skyhook. Here it is.
Yeah, I said skyhook. Like in Batman. We can't do a skyhook.
I'll find it.
This is over. We can't do a skyhook, guys. That's bad. So what are your favorite horror directors and films that you watch frequently? Okay, cool. This is a good question. Thanks for asking me a legit question. Check it. I'm not going to drink this. This is weird. Favorite horror directors. Wow, that's a hard one. I don't like horror directors so much as horror films, because I think a lot of horror directors make great horror films and then sometimes make bad ones. So I don't want to like lock myself into. By the way, this is Indie Horror asked this. I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. I think it's probably my favorite straight horror movie. What is this?
What is it? Oh, that's my dipping water.
Okay. Hellraiser, I think, is the best straight horror movie I've ever seen, because there was this mold. There's a bad guy, and he's gonna come and cut you up and shit. And in Hellraiser, the film was about how a human being was the bad guy. This dude was like a.
Do we got paper towels anywhere?
What?
Do we have paper towels anywhere?
Let me see that.
In the center real quick.
I gotta see it. I can't see it.
Do we have paper towels like anywhere?
No.
I'm tripping over.
Lick it.
All right.
Rub it on your pants. So Hellraiser. Let's fall back to Hellraiser. Not Clive Barker's not my favorite horror director, but Hellraiser's pretty great. Indie horror, yes. 1 and 2. I think if you put 1 and 2, Hellraiser 1 and 2 together, it's a great 3-hour film, 3.5-hour film. It's amazing. The Leviathan, the labyrinth. Oh man. I went through a period of time when I was like 14 and emo where I would like wake up in the morning and go, the mind is a labyrinth. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah, okay, so Joseph, suck it up, bro. We've been told to tell you to suck it up.
On it, boss.
Okay. He's going to suck it up for you. So, okay, Mr. Skitterbuster, okay, comedy aside, it's been fun, but what incidents have you had filming that may have hurt your cast? Good question. Remember in Motivational Growth where the girl gets sucked through the wall? Okay, that thing, that was very dangerous because it happened in real time. We didn't speed that up in any way. There's a girl, a 5'8", 5'9" girl, who's they're the same guys who were knocking Ian when he fell. They have her hooked up to a shotgun rig, which is this rig of pulleys where they yank and then you go flying through the air, and they use it for like, remember in like any movie, any like mob movie where they have a shotgun and they shoot a bro and he goes flying through the air? It's a shotgun rig. We're gonna pull this girl through the wall, but you know, if she hits her head, she'll die. And if she moves either way, she'll die because it's her head that's sticking out. The rest is in a harness. So we cut out a part of the wall, and we ran through it a few times, but it was really odd because when we practiced it, she's a really professional actor. Danielle Deitch is amazing. She didn't scream, and I didn't expect to scream ever because it was so quick. There wasn't even time for a scream. So we practice it, and we whip her through the wall, and it looks great. So on the day, we're getting ready to do it, and we whip her through the wall, and she lets out this blood-curdling scream, the scream you hear in the film. And it shocked me because I wasn't expecting a scream. And I honestly felt for about 10 seconds that we'd murdered Danielle Deitch because so much could go wrong. We luckily had Aaron Crippen, who was a stunt coordinator in Chicago at the time, who was like a coordinator on Batman: The Dark Knight and like, you know, a bunch of, he did Superman and stuff. So he was a coordinator on a stunt dude on Superman. So we spent a lot of money on protecting our people, but I still thought we killed her. like straight up murdered her. So I had a moment where I was like, do I go out the door or do I run around and see if she's breathing? And I didn't really have that moment. I immediately ran over to see if she was there. She was laughing. Everything was great. And she just added the scream because she's an amazing actress. But it turned out, seconds later, I found out that she had pulled vertebrae in her neck the night previous and didn't tell anybody, which is horrifically bad because that would have killed her if something had gone wrong. You never pull somebody like with a move that would essentially give them the most ripping whiplash if they've got a bunch of pulled vertebrae. Like you can hurt a neck and then that kills you forever. So she told me only later, and I was very pissed. And I asked her, "Why did you do this? Why did you let us do this?" And she said, "Because we needed to get the shot." Which very cool, awesome actress. We got the shot, but honestly, there was a moment, I guess, if the fate had changed a little, we could have hurt somebody. And now I've got a gag where there's, you have to sign a thing like you're not going to lie to us and tell us that you're okay when you're not. Okay, so what is Mr. Skeeter Buster asked another question. What is the most challenging things heading up your own film? Stunts, catering, getting them all to do it? Question mark. All of them. It's all hard. Every single one. Film is work. It's the creative part. Like, okay, organization of the film and making the film happen is like 90% of the actual filmmaking portion of doing an independent film, and then there's that 10% that you have to eke out and find to be like mega creative in. Yes.
The building's on fire.
Okay.
And we poured your water on it.
All my water.
All the Detroit water.
Okay. Well, at least the building's not on fire anymore. Thanks.
Well,
Okay.
actually, Detroit water is gasoline, so it's more on fire.
Okay. I think she called me a moron. It's all hard, and then you get to this point where you realize that once you finish the film, you now have the film, and you realize you've only done like 20% of the work. Because the film's done, and now people need to see the film. People like Indie Horror TV need to find out about the film, and then you start a whole new process. So literally, it's all hard, but it's good effort. It's cathartic effort. It's all of it is hard. So I wish I could point out one specific thing. The most challenging, honestly, the most challenging thing is after the film's done. If you live filmmaking on a daily basis and this is what you do forever, the hardest thing is when this is done, going to get a bunch of people to pay attention to it. So I'm glad you guys are here paying attention to it. Okay, so Mr. Skeeter Buster asked if I can yell as loud as possible and say, "Mr. Skeeter Buster says chop chop." I'm not going to, thanks Ray, I'm not going to do it as we're working right now, and I apologize. Okay, so next question. The film looks like $1 million, says Indie Horror. The film looks like $1 million. What was your budget like for the film? And on that topic, what are your thoughts on crowdfunding for films? Okay, so this is two very complicated questions. The first one I'll answer just with a number. We had an operating budget on the day of $190,000. It was not $1 million. It was nowhere near $1 million. Our post-production budget, which we got some of back through tax incentives from Chicago and that sort of thing, covered a little bit more. So I would say right now, if we include travel and festivals and all that, we're at about $250,000. But that's post-production, and I mean that's post-production and marketing and shit. So I think the whole thing, all told, by the end of the year, our festival cycle will be done and will be in distribution. It was a $250,000 endeavor that also started a company, the company that's now doing this. So not $1 million, one quarter of $1 million. What are my thoughts on crowdfunding films? This is a tough one. You have a two-pronged problem here. The first is if you've got a bunch of people you know will commit to your crowdfunding, you got a bunch of people who'll just give you money, so go to those people directly. If you think, oh, I've got 35 people who definitely give me $100, go get that $100 from those 35 people. Don't go through the crowdfunding problem. If you don't know you have those people, this is where the double-edged sword comes in, then you shouldn't be doing crowdfunding. You have to have something that the crowd gives a shit about, right? If you don't have the people to care, putting your movie in Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever and saying, hey, I'm nobody and I've got this film you've never heard of with nobody in it and I've got nothing to sell you, nobody's going to care. You're not Zach Braff. And also you run an additional risk of getting this moment where you've got a film that you put on Indiegogo or Kickstarter or whatever and it fails and nobody wants the movie. So then you go to investors who say, well, do you think people will care about this movie? And they literally have a point-by-point layout of how your film would not appeal to an audience because your audience didn't pay for it. So unless you've got something that a crowd of people that you have never met before would just fall in love with instantly, and you can have that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But unless you have that, I think that crowdfunding is really hard, and you should do the Darren Aronofsky thing and ask everybody you know for $100. That's I think if you're just starting, crowdfunding's hard. I know personally a number of people who've attempted crowdfunding and ended up with a failure and a public display of how nobody wants to pay for that movie, which is not, I mean, don't think is actually true. I think a bunch of people would pay for that movie, just not the people on Kickstarter that moment, you know? So crowdfunding is a double-edged sword. If you've got a key, if you've got something, if you're hanging out with Jeff Combs and Stuart Gordon and you're like, come see my movie, I'm sure somebody would care. If you're Zach Braff, if Joss Whedon did a Firefly campaign, he'd make 80,000 billion, trillion, quadrillion dollars, and all the Avengers would be in Firefly. That would be awesome, but he's got something that pre-existingly talks to crowds. You need a crowd to crowdfund. Okay, I'm off my soapbox for that. Let's see. We've got more questions. Is there a set release date for DVD or Blu-ray? So, okay, that's a good question. Asks Maddening Nothing. There is not yet. I am in the uniquely good/bad position of having distributors argue with each other right now over it. I've got expensive people who are making sure that somebody makes the right decision while I shoot other things. Because Imagos Films, my company, is more than just me. So there are people making decisions. I know that we're shooting for either right at the end of the year or at the beginning of next year. We have a festival circuit finishing up right at the end of this year. So hopefully it'll come out right at the tail end of that. If not, early next year. Let's go to Mr. Skeeter Buster. Have you tried filming in Ohio? I know the Avengers was filmed here for tax credits. I didn't know that was a cool thing. I mean, I didn't know. I've never tried. My producer, Alexis, has a huge number of, we have a matrix of all of the states and cities and all of their tax things. But we are currently headquartered in Seattle, and we're attempting to keep as much as we can here in Seattle. The Seattle independent film community is amazing, and we really want to, try to work that as much as we can. And if that means taking a little bit of hit on a tax credit or something, because I know Seattle has awesome tax credits as well, we'll probably do that. However, that's me talking, that's Mr. Artist talking, but my producer is money-minded and will definitely, make the right decision. Indie Horror says, I believe I found out about your film from Scott Shermer, director of Found. That guy is awesome. If you guys have seen Found, or haven't seen Found, go see Found now. Find out how you can find it. I know that at every festival they've been selling DVDs. I know that it was on Indie Horror TV at some point. It is amazing. I've seen it a number of times in festivals. We've shown it at festivals together a bunch, so you should go see Found. If I'm preaching to the choir, sorry. He said he spoke highly of it. Being that you've taken your films to festivals, have you seen a lot of indie horror recently? And do any films stick out to you? Yes, Found. Found definitely sticks out. There's another film called Cedar Ridge that I was a big fan of, which... Thank you. The redhead that we're getting shaved was the star of, has just been bought, and it's going into distribution with the title of The Invoking. But I've seen it only as Cedar Ridge and film festivals, and it's an amazing film title, whatever you title it, it's an amazing film. I'm lucky I was given a number of Cedar Ridge shirts, which are now going to be collector's items, I guess, which is awesome, because I have them. There's a film called Survivor Type. It's a short film. It's based on Stephen King's short story of the same name. Oh my God! There's a film Survivor Type, a feature that's out or is being made or something. I've never seen it. I can't speak to it for it. But the short that's currently at festivals. Oh my God! Look it up on Facebook. Oh man, It's one of those awesome movies where you're in the audience, you're watching it, and you go, it would be really creepy, but they'll probably never do it if they did X, Y, and Z. As a director, I wish people would have the balls to do X, Y, and Z. And then all of a sudden, boom, they do it, and then they go farther and farther and farther. So you should check out Survivor Type. That's amazing. Oh, Mr. Skeeter Buster's pointing out Dead Weight. Dead Weight is awesome. I saw Dead Weight at 2 festivals. It's a zombie movie with no zombies. There are zombies in it, but it's not about zombies. It's about survival, and it's really cool. So check out Dead Weight. Dead Weight is cool as well. Let's see other questions we've got. Not sure how they found out those blah, blah, blah. If I could meet with Kevin Smith, would it be just the best day ever to collaborate? Indie Horror TV, listen. I'm a fan of Kevin Smith's work, but I do not think there is a stronger antigen to my personality than Kevin Smith. I think we would literally beat the shit out of each other forever. It would just not stop. He's a cool guy, an awesome artist. I can tell you that I have a YouTube playlist of all of his speeches, and I love everything the dude says. But I honestly think if you were to put us both in a room together, there would be fisticuffs. Not because I'm angry or don't like him or anything, but I think we both have very creative and strong visions, and I think they diverge heavily. Also, he'd probably ask me to get high with him, and I don't get high, and then that's all. That's already a problem, and it just goes from there. Let's see. I will. Indie Horror asked me to pitch those fellow Seattle indie horror filmmakers to IHTV. You'd love to get them some publicity. What's awesome is a lot of them are here right now. I'm actually dealing with Ian. Where's Ian? Are you busy? Come here. This is Ian Huber. If you look up, if you go to karmapirates.com.
Oh yeah.
Karmapirates.com, your mind's gonna be blown by Dynamo. This gentleman. They want me to pitch Indie Horror TV to other filmmakers. Here's another filmmaker on our set. I've got Sunshine. Everybody, I'm supposed to pitch Indie Horror TV to you. So pitch your stuff to Indie Horror TV, and they'll get us publicity if you have horror stuff, or if you have other stuff. I know that Dynamo is not horror, but if you're interested in any kind of films, check it out. It's not Indie Horror TV. Indie Prostitute TV. Everyone, this is a guy named Sunshine. His name's actually Sunshine.
Hey everybody, do they want me to pitch something, or
not at the moment? I'm pitching you to Indie Horror TV.
Neat.
And if you have a horror film or some awesome film that horror fans would like, there you go. We also have a guy, my DP is on set. His name is Bliss. So I have Sunshine and Bliss. Best set ever, guys. Sunshine and Bliss are on my set. And Midian, yes. Okay, you guys are horror fans, right? So Midian, the makeup chick who's shaving that head, her name is Midian. So if you're a horror fan, you know what that means, and that's awesome. Let's see, Deadweight is also a great film. Yes, it is. Indie Horror says, so as far as movies that really mess with your head go, I have to say Motivational Growth was leaps and bounds above other film. And I watched aiming for that recently. John dies at the end. Okay, cool. Check it out. I have purposefully never seen John dies at the end. I've been told a number of times that Motivational Growth is similar in some way. I've seen like previews and stuff. It didn't look similar in any way. Both look weird for sure. I'm really excited to finally watch John Dies at the End. It's been suggested to me, but I'm waiting till our festival circuit's done before I sit down and consume that, because everyone says that they're similar. I want to not. I don't want to go in looking at a movie going, oh, what are the similarities? I don't care. I want to consume that art, separately, completely removed. So I don't know if you guys are still into asking me questions or if we're done, because you guys. Indie Horror has said nothing recently. Are you guys still watching me? Am I talking to nobody? Oh, what? Here we go. Similar in weirdness and how they sort of jump the plot into a million directions, but not in content really. That's true. Our plot is actually, unlike Primer, which has, like, if you watch those videos or listen to Shane Carruth talk about it or read it, if you go to Primer, the forums on Primer, Shane Carruth says specifically, like in the middle of Primer, he kind of muddled it so that there is no direct link to everything. Motivational Growth definitely does have an arc, and it definitely does have a direct link. So if you guys like it, watch it multiple times, figure it out, post your theories, support it. If you guys like to go to imdb.com and rate it, we're at like a 7.9 right now, which is sad. We need to be at a 9.9. So get up there and do that. Go to facebook.com, look up Motivational Growth. If you go to facebook.com and look up Skinny Tie, that's me personally. I'm not special or important, so I'll friend you on Facebook. We can be like buds. It'll be awesome. Bros. I can't wait to see the special features on Blu-ray and get a little more backstory. Yep, that's going to happen. Wait, you are as friend of MSB, so go make your video. I don't know what that means. So... I don't know what that means. Please, Mr. Skeeterbuster, please clarify. Yeah, please, everybody, make sure you pick up the DVD and or Blu-ray, or I think Betamax is what we were talking about, right? Pick that up. That'd be awesome. Rate it. Go tweet about it. The Mold has a Twitter account, so check that shit out. It's _mold. If you tweet to him, he'll tweet right back to you. He's really cool. He exists completely separate of me, so check that out. Tweet to him. Imagos Films is at Imagos Films. That's IMAGOSFILMS. My personal Twitter is Skinny Tie, like you'd wear in the 80s, little skinny tie. Yeah, any final questions, guys? I think this has been cool. It's been swell, but the swelling's gone down. Nothing. You're welcome. Thank you was said to me. Oh, I got a hug. It's Trin Miller, everyone. Cool. I will not be a stranger. I'll troll all over. I've got an account now. Thank you for welcoming me to the Indie Horror TV world. I'll definitely be all over the place. And if you ever want another interview or questions or anything else, I'm here. Let me know. I'm around. I really should get back to work now, though, because I think I probably got a pissed off crew waiting for me to tell them to do stuff that they probably would do without me anyway. Thanks.
Daniel's such a loser. He's so weak and defenseless. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.